Hey, all you girlies. So, years back, I had very thin eyebrows. As we know, that was the trend a long, long time ago. And then it became the very thick, overly bushy, overly drawn, very dramatic TikTok trending with the over contour. It just did not look great. So, anyway, it took me a little bit to grow my eyebrows out, mostly when I was pregnant, probably from the hormones and how well I was eating and the vitamins I was taking. But you can simply apply some biotin or other oils that you can use. Coconut oil works great to grow your eyelashes and eyebrows out thicker, fuller, and faster. So what I'm doing today is my eyebrows. I start by first brushing up all the hair with an eyebrow stick, brush, whatever you want to call it. You can use eyebrow gel if you want to hold it in place. Then I go under and pluck or tweeze, whatever word you want to use. I get corrected. Apparently it's tweeze, but I say pluck. You pluck underneath all the hair underneath in the shape that you want or the arch that is best suited for your face shape. So I go ahead and follow that. So they always say that you should pluck from the underneath and take away from the underneath, since you cannot really grow back above your eyebrow is very difficult to do. So if you are going to train your eyebrows to be in a different shape, just remember to always take subtly from the underneath. Anyway, so this is where I take my tweezers and I kind of do like a sweeping motion at the end, gliding across the underneath to get a lot of that peach fuzz and those stray hairs that you can't just pluck directly with the tweezers. I then tweeze the middle part of my forehead. Well, not really my forehead. I guess you could say that would be a unibrow, but I do not have a unibrow. So in this case, I'm just picking the few minor black hairs that I have. But for some people, they have different ethnicity and genetics where they may have darker, longer, or just more hair in general right in the unibrow section. Now moving on to the final step of shaping the brows. This is where I would go in and take my tweezers and just subtly pluck the stray hairs outside my eyebrow shape on the outer top part of my eyebrow. So this is where I would see like long stray hairs that are just sticking out, not within my eyebrow, or any darker hairs that are not within my arch shape that I'd like. And then I go around the outside of the tail end of my eyebrow, plucking along and then sweeping along quickly, plucking downward as I drag across the skin, the tweezers, to take those pieces of hair outside of that shape so it gets a very defined looking brow shape. Once that's done, you can move on to taking your eyebrow brush or gel brow brush and brushing your hair upward on your eyebrow so then you can see any of the remaining hairs that are stray and sticking out not in your brow. That's how you can just take out those direct ones remaining. Then after that, you can comb out your eyebrow fully, and I highly recommend when you brush up the top part of your eyebrow hair in the beginning part of your brows, that's where you're going to want to make sure when you cut the top of your eyebrow hairs in a straight line, it's angled in the right way for the shape of your eyebrow and your arch. Because if you cut that in the wrong angle, it's going to make your eyebrow shape look completely different. Be very careful also not to cut those beginning hairs in the beginning of your eyebrow too short, because then the rest of your eyebrows will not line up to that level and it will just look crooked, and you don't want that. Now, lastly, this is a key part in doing my eyebrows, is taking a toner. You can use Dr. Bronner's, you can use Thayer's toner, any kind of witch hazel toner that's going to wipe across your eyebrow. I recommend not on a towel, but on a cotton pad, and that will remove any dirt, debris, oils from that area. It completely cleans everything away from the skin. It makes your eyebrow look fresh, and it shows you everything of the shape of the eyebrow that you just did. And I just love doing that with a toner because it gets rid of the irritation, the redness, any puffing, swelling I may have. So I've found that once you get your shape right, it's simply just maintenance after that. And I typically do my eyebrows only like every week and a half with maintenance, and that's really it. So once you get the shape, you really don't have to go crazy on filling it in when you have the right amount of growth. It did take me a while to get the fullness that I wanted, but that was only because, like I said, way back years ago, when I did follow the trend of having very thin eyebrows, it took me, I couldn't believe it took me so long to grow the thickness back out because I plucked away so much. It was almost like a pencil, I swear to God. So yeah, thanks girls for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed. I know this was a really long video, but I just like to throw out some tips to help all the other girlies out. Bye!